What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the stream, guys. Appreciate you being here as always. We got a big 9-game slate for Thursday. Excited to talk through this slate with you guys. It's another day where injuries are pretty important. Still a ton of questionable guys. It's going to be like this every day. Till we get to Sunday, till we get to the end of the regular season. There's going to be guys questionable every day. There's going to be guys resting. We've already got news of some players resting. Michael Porter Jr. gonna rest for the Nuggets. I think someone else might have gotten ruled out if I remember correctly. Or there's some guys questionable for the Hawks. Clint Capella questionable, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then still we got guys like Karis LeVert now questionable. That's a really big one. With Karis LeVert questionable, if he sits, Sabonis. I mean, man, like Sabonis has already been smashing. Now if you get LeVert out too, I mean, it's hard not to consider Sabonis probably one of the top plays of the slate. But I would definitely like TJ McConnell a lot if Karis LeVert gets ruled out. Jimmy Butler, though, still questionable. Embiid still questionable. Clint Capella is now questionable, so we'll need to monitor that. J Val still questionable. So yeah, it's going to be a day where we're going to have to keep an eye on the news. I doubt we're going to get anything from now till the time I end the stream, but hopefully we'll get some updates before lock and we can kind of make adjustments. But we'll talk through everything, kind of give you guys my early thoughts, what stands out right now, and depending on how this news breaks, who I like if guys get ruled out, where I'm going to be going to. But yeah, appreciate you being here as always, guys. See a lot of the members in chat. T Money, DD, thanks as always for tuning in, my friends. Appreciate it. Where you at, Noah? Eating Popeyes? Not eating Popeyes. I'm just home at my apartment. Wish I had some Popeyes, though. I am getting some Chipotle, though. My girlfriend picked me up some Chipotle. I'm excited for that. Would you like McConnell over Flynn if LeVert's out? I would probably lean that way, Michael. I'd probably lean that way. I like Flynn regardless. 8-man rotation. It's hard not to like some of those Raptors on this slate. Like, when you only have 8 bodies, I mean, dudes are just going to have to play a ton of minutes. So I like Flynn regardless, but I probably would put McConnell ahead of him if LeVert's out. I mean, McConnell, we know, is a very productive player when he's on the floor. And if he's going to be the primary point guard and play over 30 minutes, I mean, McConnell, like, he could do what THT did last night. He could put up 20 and 10 easily. Yeah, if LeVert's out, I love McConnell. Hello, Noah and everyone. Let's get it. Hey, let's get it, Mark. Let's get it, my man. What's up, Noah? What's up, Kushlash? What's up, my man? Do you like Aaron Gordon tonight? I actually do have some interest in Aaron Gordon. And, I've said it before. Like, Aaron Gordon's been terrible since he's been with the Nuggets, at least for fantasy. Like, he hasn't been someone you really want to roster in DFS. But now that Michael Porter Jr. is resting, that definitely makes Aaron Gordon look pretty appealing. I mean, no MPJ, no Will Barton, no PJ Dozier, no Monte Morris, no Jamal Murray. I mean, who else is going to score on this team besides Jokic? I mean, Campazzo, I'm okay with, but he's 5,800. He's kind of been priced up. We're still getting a pretty nice price on Aaron Gordon. Like 5,100 for Aaron Gordon. Now that MPJ is out, I think we get it over 30 minutes from him. He should be more productive. I like Aaron Gordon, 5,100. He's definitely a guy I'm looking to for sure at small forward, power forward, wherever you want to roster him. He might be my favorite Nugget. Jokic, I do still like. I'm just a bit worried that Denver. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with the minutes for Jokic. Now, since they rested MPJ, like, do they take it easy on Jokic here? I really don't know. It's tough. Like, when you get late in the season like this, you just don't know what these stars, like, what the stars' minutes are going to look like. I expect Sabonis to play big minutes because, the Pacers are still playing for something, but Jokic, does he get 36, 38 minutes tonight? I don't know. Giannis, does he play 38 minutes tonight? Probably not. Vooch, I mean, the Bulls got eliminated from the playoffs last night, so does Vooch, maybe do they take it easy on Vooch these last few games? Like, we really don't know. It's tough. If we know we're getting 30 minutes or more from Jokic, I still do like him, but Aaron Gordon, I definitely have interest in now that MPJ's out. Lillard, I don't think I'm going to go to Lillard on this slate, DD. I think I'd rather play Sabonis, Jokic. I think I'd even rather play Trae Young for a little cheaper over Lillard. Like, I just haven't really been on Lillard that much lately. Matchup against Phoenix is not the best. I don't think I'm going to play Lillard today. Trent Jr. tonight, I think Gary Trent's in play. I mean, I played him last slate and he killed me, but again, the Raptors only have 8 players. When you only have 8 bodies, I mean, these dudes are going to have to play big minutes. So as long as Gary Trent can actually make his shots tonight, he could definitely be someone we go to. He's super score independent, but if he makes his shots, he has upside for sure. Simmons or Harrison, if Embiid's out. I mean, I think if Embiid gets ruled out, you could definitely play both those guys. If I had to pick one, Simmons would be my preferred option. We'll have to wait and see what other news breaks. Like, I don't know if I'd be jamming in those guys depending on what other news we get. But yeah, Simmons and Harris, they definitely get a big boost if Embiid sits. What was your lineup last night, Noah? I'll read it off real quick. I did cash last night, thankfully. I had a bad night the night before, but I did cash last night, so I was able to get back in the positive. My lineup last night scored 329.5. It was Westbrook, Evan Fournier, Kuzma, Tatum, Andre Drummond, Pritchard, THT, and Kyra Lewis. So, we talked about it in the stream. Those Lakers guys, once LeBron got ruled out, I started to like some of those Lakers. And then once we got the news Anthony Davis was also out, I thought Kuzma was a great play. I thought THT was a great play, especially when Caruso got ruled out as well. And then I really like Drummond. So, you had to get on those Lakers. If you didn't play any Lakers last night, you probably didn't do well. So, playing the Lakers was key. I mean, my lineup was really chalky. Like in the $100 single entry, Russ was 68% owned, Fournier was 86, Kuzma 43, Tatum 60, Andre Drummond 71, Pritchard 43, THT 62. So everyone that I just mentioned was at least 40% owned. The one guy that I had that was low owned was Kyra Lewis. And I kind of got lucky there. Kyra Lewis was playing like garbage. He only played like 5 first half minutes, but then the game blew out and he played like the entire fourth quarter. So we kind of got lucky there getting 21 from Kyra Lewis. $30 super chat from my man Mark Bray. I appreciate you, Mark, man. You got to quit with the donations. You donate way too much, man. He says, thanks again. Use your GPP and cash picks to select my team. Won again last night. Not as good as the night before, though. Still good. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Mark. Thank you for the $30 super chat, my man. I appreciate that. I wish you would just keep your money. Like, please stop giving me all your money. But thank you, Mark. Thank you, man. Very generous of you. What up, Noah? Thanks for the great content. You rock. Hey, I appreciate that. I know Knicks are in the playoffs locked with the Celtics loss. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that as well. The Knicks clinched a playoff spot with their win, or with Celtics loss last night. I mean, I assume the Knicks play all their guys, but, it's just so tough, man. Like, now that some of these teams have clinched their playoff spots, like, do they start taking it easy on their guys and not playing them 38 minutes? Like, we just don't know. I mean, it's tough to tell. That's going to be one of the more tilting things, is like when you pay up for a stud and he only plays like 30 minutes. It's going to happen, I'm sure. Like Jokic, I like Jokic tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if Jokic plays like 28 minutes tonight. I mean, he could still go for 60 in 28 minutes, but he's a little bit more risky than he normally would be, I guess. Vucevic or Towns, in my opinion, Toronto's games are a potential blowout. I mean, I don't think the Bulls are that good to where they're going to blow out Toronto, so I would expect a close game there between Vuce or Towns. I mean, I'd probably still take Vuce, honestly, but it'd be close between those two. I would prefer Jokic, though, if I'm paying up at center. Thanks, Noah. I went with your core plus Kevin Love money. Hey, if you had Kevin Love last night, you were in good shape. My lineup on Yahoo, if I would have played Kevin Love over Rui Hachimura, I would have won everything, but I played Rui instead of Kevin Love. They were the same price tag. I mean, Kevin Love wasn't even on my radar last night, but if I would have played him over Rui, I would have been in really good shape on Yahoo. We had the exact same lineup. Yeah, there was a couple other guys, Patreon members, that had the same lineup as me. Look, I always play my core plays in my main lineup. I mean, I basically give out half my lineup on Patreon. The core plays are always in my lineup, so you're basically getting half of my lineup. Noah's the most humble dudes in this. Hey, I appreciate that, Chris. Appreciate that. Y'all cashing out while I'm over here cashing in, if y'all know what I mean. I hate it for you, man. I hate it for you. I mean, we all have losing nights, I'll tell you that. Like, I've had plenty of losing nights. Even though I had a good night last night, that doesn't mean anything because I've had plenty of losing nights as well. Everyone loses in DFS. You're not going to win every day. That's for damn sure. Embiid in play. I mean, Embiid's kind of another guy that's, like, risky. Like, we just don't know how many, like, are they going to push him? Are they going to play him 36 minutes? I really don't know. I mean, Embiid's a bit risky. The matchup against Miami already is not that great. Like, if we're going to get only 30 minutes from Jokic or 30 minutes from Embiid, like, I'd rather play Jokic in a better matchup. So, even if Embiid plays, I don't have much interest. White, Nurk, or Rose and Kim Birch. Assuming, is that Kobe White? Let me see. I think that's Kobe White he's talking about. Yeah, if that's Kobe White, Nurkic, or Rose Birch, I'd probably play Derrick Rose and Birch there. Bembry, yeah, I mean, really all the Raptors are in play. Like, it's hard not to consider all the Raptors. I mean, obviously you're not playing all of them in the same lineup, but when you only have 8 bodies, like, everyone's going to play at least like 20 minutes. So, yeah, Bembry's in play. Stanley Johnson's viable. I think you can look to those guys for value. I don't know if I'd be playing like 5 Raptors. I probably would put like a max of 2 or 3. We'll have to wait and see what other value opens up though. But yeah, I'm fine with Bembry. Did Embiid just get ruled out? I haven't seen that yet. People are saying Embiid's out. I haven't seen that yet. Hunter would look good with all these out, but the minutes limit, yeah. I mean, you can't really play DeAndre Hunter right now. Like, we just don't know how many minutes he's going to play. I would say, though, if Capella gets ruled out, I mean, we kind of know where to go to. John Collins will benefit. I would like Okongwu if he were to start. Like, Okongwu, I'm pretty sure is, like, super cheap. Yeah, he's minimum salary. Like, if Clint Capella gets ruled out and Okongwu starts, he's a great value play. John Collins definitely gets a boost if Capella's out. I hate playing John Collins. He's burned me so much this year, but he would be someone worth considering for sure at 6,700. Thoughts on Triple J and Levine? Triple J, I think, is a decent play on both sides. I would like him a little bit more if J-Val's out. Like, if J-Val's out, I think that's pretty good for Triple J. If J-Val plays, then, he's an okay option. Levine, I don't have much interest in on DK, but if you do play on Yahoo, I think Levine looks pretty good over there. Levine's super cheap on Yahoo, so I do like him more over on Yahoo. Who benefits most if Ayton's out? We'll have to wait and see what they do with the starting lineup. I would assume either Dario Saric or Frank Kaminsky would start at center. So whichever one of the two starts would also be a good value play. Ayton's questionable, but if he does get ruled out, Saric, Kaminsky, both would be good values. I would obviously prefer, though, whichever one starts. Tobias and Metu or Rashawn and AG. If Embiid's out, I'd probably play Tobias and Metu there between the two. Who are you looking at for shooting guard? I still like DeLon Wright. You can play him at shooting guard on Draftkings. So, I guess if I'm paying up, DeLon Wright would be the guy that I would look to. I still have some interest in D'Angelo Russell at his price. If you're going a little bit cheaper, Gary Trent for $6K, I have some interest in the mid-range. Terrence Davis, $5,900 I like. And then for cheap, I do like Jalen Harris for value. Jalen Harris, with all these guys out for Toronto, he probably plays at least like 25, 30 minutes off the bench. $3,800. I think Jalen Harris probably the optimal play at shooting guard. But there's plenty of viable options. If you do need a cheap option, though, he would be the first guy I would look to. If Capella's out, is Collins a play? Yeah, I would definitely have interest in Collins. Collins and Okongwu. What do you think about Devontae Graham over Flynn? I mean, I'd probably still prefer Flynn, just given the Raptors only have 8 bodies. I mean, when you only have 8 players, like it's hard for guys to not get there because they're just going to have to play a ton of minutes. So I would still prefer Flynn, I think, over Devontae Graham. What if Bogdan and Capella are out tonight? Well, yeah, we already talked about who benefits if Capella's out. If Bogdan's out, I would say the biggest beneficiary would probably be Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter's $4,700. You could definitely look to him. I don't have a ton of interest in Kevin Huerter normally, but if Bogdan sits, I would like him a little bit more. I think it would be a little boost for Trae Young as well. We'd have to wait and see what they do with the starting lineup, but I would say Trae Young and Huerter benefit the most if Bogdan sits. And if Capella's out, John Collins and Okongwu are the two guys who benefit there. I don't know about Trent Jr. That dude's been trash. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been shooting well. That's really what it's come down to. He's shot the ball terribly like the last 3 games. If he can actually make some shots, like he's got upside because he's taking 15, 20 shots a game right now. It's just he can't make a shot to save his life. So if you do play Gary Trent, you just got to hope that he's able to put the ball in the basket, which is something he's been struggling to do lately. Jokic does make me nervous tonight. Would you consider Trae Young over him? I mean, honestly, like Trae, it's a back-to-back. The Hawks clinched their playoff spot last night. Like, I mean, I kind of have a little bit of worries about Trae as well. Like, do they play Trae 38 minutes tonight? I have no idea. So I would say I'd still probably take Jokic there. If Trent burns me again tonight, I'm never going back. I mean, yeah. If he doesn't get there tonight, I mean, look, I don't even know how many more games the Raptors have left, but I would probably be done with Gary Trent at that point. Jokic makes me nervous paying that price because the assists aren't going to be there with the scrubs. I mean, you'd be surprised. Jokic can find a way to get the ball to guys. He's just such a good passer. Michael, $20 super chat. Hey, my man, I appreciate that. Much love, Noah. Keep up the good work. Who would you say are your top pay-up options tonight? Good luck tonight. Hey, good luck to you as well, Michael. Sabonis, I would say, is my favorite at the top. He's just the guy that I feel the most confident in. Like, we know we're getting 38, 40 minutes from Sabonis. The Pacers still need to win games. They have something to play for. So I feel the most confident in Sabonis. I also think he's going to be really popular, but he's someone I like a lot at the top. Jokic, I would normally love in this spot, but with Denver resting MPJ, with them, locking up their playoff spot, like, do they take it easy on Jokic? That makes me a bit worried about him. Like, when it comes to Jokic, Giannis, Embiid, I'm worried about the minutes for those guys. I don't know if any of those guys play like 38 minutes tonight, but they probably still play like 30. So even in 30 minutes from Jokic, he looks like a good pay-up option. Sabonis, though, is definitely my favorite guy at the top for sure. And then not a ton after that. Like, I think, Lillard, Randall, Trae Young are okay for tournaments, but Sabonis and Jokic are the guys I like most at the top, I think. And definitely Sabonis. I mean, Sabonis, by far, my favorite pay-up option. McConnell, Harris, Kawhi, Gordon, Gillespie, Flynn, Randall, Wright, thoughts? That looks pretty good for now, Christy. For me, McConnell, I would want LeVert to be out before I go to McConnell, but yeah, if LeVert sits, I do like McConnell a lot. The rest looks good, though. The rest looks good. Who should we target now that MPJ's out? I think the biggest beneficiary is going to be Aaron Gordon, and Aaron Gordon's been terrible since he's been with the Nuggets. For fantasy, he's been terrible, but I do have interest in Aaron Gordon now that MPJ's out. I think he gets a few more minutes. He should be more productive. I mean, he should be the number 2 in offense behind Jokic. Like, we could definitely get a good game from Aaron Gordon tonight. So I do like Aaron Gordon now with MPJ out. 7K utility. Let's see here. I would probably say Dejounte Murray, or if Capella gets ruled out, then probably John Collins. One of those two guys, I would say. Jay Crowder and Mo Harkless. Probably Mo Harkless if I had to pick one of those two. If no Bamba, would you play Wendell Carter Jr.? Yeah, I think Wendell Carter Jr. would be viable. I wouldn't consider him like a top play or anything, but definitely would become an option for sure if Bamba's out. If Bamba plays, I'm not going to really any Magic on the slate. Bembry or Justin Holiday? If LeVert's out, I'd probably play Justin Holiday over Bembry, but that would be close. Jokic ain't been killing him for his price. I mean, yeah, I know he's not been. I mean, some of that's not really been his fault. Like, I know he's been in some blowouts lately. Let's see. Like, the Knicks game was I thought that was a blowout. He only played 29 minutes in the Knicks game. I mean, Jokic, like even a bad game from Jokic, like, he's still going to get you 50. And with how these slates are setting up, like, there's going to be 3K guys. Like, there's going to always be guys for 3K or less that, or 4K or less that project for 25, 30 points. So when you have a ton of 3K, 4K guys that are going to get you at least 25 to 30, it just makes sense to jam in the studs that are going to get you at least 45, 50. And obviously Jokic can get you way more than that. So even if Jokic puts up 55 tonight, I mean, he could still be in the optimal lineup just because there's always going to be value at this point in the season. Like, there's always going to be cheap guys that smash. It's going to happen every night. So it's going to be stars and scrubs moving forward. I think Jokic, even with maybe some minutes concerns, he still looks like one of the better studs on this slate, in my opinion. Thoughts on Nurkic? Yeah, I mean, Nurkic is someone I do like in the mid-range at center. I think if I'm not paying up for Jokic or going cheap for like Metu or like a Gillespie, I mean, Nurkic is probably the guy I would like the most in the mid-range if I'm not paying up for Jokic or going to one of those cheap guys. Who you like more, Gillespie, Ariza, or Gordon at the price? Probably Aaron Gordon between the three. It would be between Gordon or Gillespie. Probably Gordon. Opinions on Metu? Yeah, I think Metu's a solid value. I mean, he's been getting the minutes. He's been starting lately. Without Harrison Barnes, without Bagley, I mean, he should start, play around 30 minutes. He's still pretty cheap. I definitely have interest in Metu for value. I probably prefer the Raptors guys over him, like Jalen Harris, Watanabe, Gillespie maybe, but yeah, Metu for sure in play. Guard for 6.2K and below. Let's see here. I mean, I'd probably say Gary Trent. I know Gary Trent's been terrible lately, but probably either Gary Trent or Terrence Davis. One of those two guys I would take there. Hampton, Hero, or Nunn. If Jimmy's out, I'd probably play Kendrick Nunn. If Jimmy plays, I'd probably go to Hampton. Nurkic seems underpriced tonight. I mean, yeah, Nurkic has been killing. I mean, the minutes have been low for him because Portland's been involved in so many blowouts lately. But the last two games have been closed, and we've gotten 29 and 32 minutes from Nurkic, and he's been smashing. So if we get 30, 32 minutes from Nurkic again, I mean, he can easily put up 45, 50. And if DeAndre Ayton sits for the Suns, I mean, if DeAndre Ayton's out, like DeAndre Ayton's already not a good defender, but it'll be an even better matchup for Nurkic if he gets to go up against either Kaminsky or Dario Saric. I mean, those guys are not going to stop Nurkic. With Atlanta clinching playoffs, possibly sitting others, blowout risk, concern over trade minutes. Yeah, we kind of mentioned that earlier, Mark. I mean, that's a big concern with a lot of studs right now. Like with some of these teams that have clinched playoff spots, like we just don't know what they're going to do with their stars' minutes moving forward. Unless we hear otherwise, I'm just going to assume that everyone plays their full minutes, but it's more of a risk than it normally would be. Like a lot of these stars at the top are a little bit more risky than they normally would be. But like even some of these guys are just so productive. Like even if they play 30 minutes, they can still give you good scores. Like a Jokic, a Giannis. So, and because we're going to have so much value, you might as well just pay up for the guys that you know are going to get you at least 45, 50, like a Trae Young, like a Jokic. Just came back on. Did you have a chance to provide thoughts? I can't tell. You got to ask that question again, Derek. I don't know what you mean. I think you mean on Toronto. If you mean on Toronto, then yeah, I mean they're going to have an 8-man rotation. It's hard not to consider almost everyone. Like everyone's basically viable for Toronto. My favorite Raptors, though, it's going to depend on the starting lineup, but probably Flynn, Utah, and then probably third favorite will be Jalen Harris. So those are the 3 guys I like most from Toronto. With MPJ out, is Jokic a must-play? I mean, I wouldn't say he's a must-play because there's other studs on this slate, but, no MPJ, I mean, there's going to be even more opportunity for Jokic. The only worry I have with Jokic tonight is just, does Denver limit his minutes a little bit? Do they play him just 30, 32 minutes? That's really my only worry with Jokic on this slate. I expect him to be super productive when he's out there. Why Jokic over Giannis? I mean, it's a better matchup. I wouldn't say it's a better matchup. It's a good matchup for both guys, but we have the same concerns with Giannis as we do with Jokic. Like Giannis, we just don't know if Giannis is going to play 36 minutes. I mean, last game he played 32. Like, are the Bucks going to push Giannis? I don't think so. So, like, if we're going to get 30, 32 minutes from Giannis, 30, 32 minutes from Jokic, I think I'd rather have Jokic, especially now that MPJ's out. I think that just boosts Jokic's ceiling even more. And plus, I already like Sabonis, so, I'm probably playing Sabonis at power forward. I don't know if I'm going to play Giannis as well. I mean, obviously you could play Giannis at center, but for me, I prefer Jokic over Giannis tonight. Best small forward on Yahoo. If you could pay up, I like Jimmy at the top if he plays. If you're going cheaper, I think Gary Trent in the mid-range looks good. You have DeAndre Bembry you can play for value if you want to go there, if he starts. So probably those few guys I would look to at small forward on Yahoo. Aaron Gordon is a power forward. If Aaron Gordon was small forward, he'd be one of my favorite small forwards, but on Yahoo, he's a power forward, which sucks. Justin Holiday and D. Rose or Mo Harkless and Gary Trent. I'd probably play Holiday and D. Rose there, especially if LeVert's out. Sabonis and Nurk or Randall and DeLon Wright. Give me Sabonis and Nurk, but that's close. Mo Wagner, last man in on Yahoo. I mean, let's see. I feel like there's other guys I'd probably rather play over Mo Wagner, but let me take a look. Like if Mo Bamba plays, I just don't have much interest in Wagner. What's Wagner's price? So he's $13. Like if you can play Aaron Gordon, I'd rather play Aaron Gordon over Wagner. I mean, yeah, probably rather play like Jalen Harris for Toronto. I don't think I'd go to Wagner. I'd play some of those other guys that I just mentioned. Me personally, that's just my opinion. You like Harkless tonight? If you haven't hit on that. I mean, yeah, I think Harkless is viable. Like, Mo Harkless is one of those guys I just never like playing. The price tag's coming up. He's $4,600 now, but he's going to get the minutes, which is nice. I mean, he's going to play probably, 34, 35 minutes if it's a close game. Again, like, Harkless, never someone you feel like you have to roster. Like, when does Mo Harkless ever just, like, win you the slate? Like, it just feels like he never is going to be a guy that just breaks the slate in half, but he could get you 25, 30 DK points if he plays 35 minutes, which, makes him an okay value. Not towards the top of my list, though. There's a lot of guys I have ahead of Mo Harkless if I'm looking for value plays. Remember that one live you did where some guy got triggered by your kitchen sign? I think you should get like 5 more of them. We'll donate. I don't know why he was. Yeah, I remember that. The dude was asking, or he was trying to make a joke or something, saying like, I forgot, or I don't know what he said. I think he said, "Do you forget where your kitchen is, so you have that sign up there?" He was trying to make a joke. Thoughts on DeLon Wright? I mean, yeah, even with the price up for DeLon Wright, I still like him a lot. He's going to play 38, 40 minutes. He's been super productive. Hard not to like him. So, yeah, definitely have interest in DeLon Wright for sure. What about Justin Holiday, Sabonis, Tobias Harris? Oh, Justin Holiday, Sabonis, Tobias Harris for forward. I think that's fine. Holiday for me, I would want Levert to be out before I play Justin Holiday. I'd want Embiid to be out before I play Tobias. But I think those are fine forward options. Trent Jr., Flynn, Davis, Jokic, Gillespie, Metu, Russell, Triple J. I think that's fine for now, Derek. That's fine for now. Chris Paul or CJ McCollum. I'd probably rather play Chris Paul between those two if I had to pick one. Ja, Kawhi, or Capella. Give me Kawhi between the three, I guess. I'm not a big fan of any of those guys on the slate, but I'd probably take Kawhi between the three. Aaron Gordon or Gary Trent. I mean, if you have the salary, I'd probably play Gary Trent. But I do have interest in both those guys tonight. Good luck, everyone. Thanks again, Noah. Great content. Like button family. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, guys, hit the like button if you haven't yet. Hit the like button. Randall, the best power forward play. I mean, I prefer Sabonis. If I'm paying up a power forward, Sabonis is the guy I like the most. I mean, Randall's a good option. He's always playable, but I prefer Sabonis on this slate. What about Graham? He's $18 on Yahoo. I mean, when Terry Rozier's healthy, when LaMelo's healthy, I just don't really play Devontae Graham. But I don't think I'm going to play Graham personally. I'd rather play Malachi Flynn. He's cheaper. So, yeah, I don't have much interest in Devontae Graham. The matchup's not good, and I never play Graham when all the other guards are healthy. Or normally I don't. Who would you pick over Harkless? I mean, I don't know. Aaron Gordon, if you can get him, I'd probably rather play over Harkless. He's 5,100. But, looking in the price range that Harkless is in, I mean, Harkless is fine. I'm not against it. I just don't think I'm personally going to play him in my one lineup. Harkless is just never someone I really play. If I can get Aaron Gordon, I'd rather play Aaron Gordon over Harkless, I think. Would you play 3 Raptors tonight? I think that's fine. We'll have to wait and see what other news other news comes out, what other value opens up. But for now, if the slate were to start right now, I think playing 3 Raptors would be totally fine. Thoughts on the Showdown slate tonight? What's your approach? I haven't even looked at the Showdown slate. I really don't play NBA Showdown. Only time I play NBA Showdowns during the finals. So I haven't even looked at the Showdown slate. Good strategy to go Sabonis, Giannis from the same game. I mean, you can do that. I really like Sabonis. If you want to play him with Giannis, I'm fine with that. Me personally, I'd rather play Jokic over Giannis, but yeah, you could definitely play those two guys together. Do you like Austin Rivers for value? I think he's okay. I think he gets a boost without MPJ. No Monte Morris as well. Definitely helps Austin Rivers. Again, Austin Rivers is not a guy that I really want to roster when he's 4,400. I thought Austin Rivers was a good value when he was minimum salary. Now that he's 4,400, it's a bit risky, but he should get the minutes. No Morris, no MPJ. I mean, there's a lot of minutes to go around. So we're probably going to get 33, 34 minutes from Austin Rivers. Good matchup. I don't mind him. It's just if I can play, I'd rather play Jalen Harris for cheaper, honestly. I think Jalen Harris is a more productive player. He'll probably play just as many minutes, and yeah, he's cheaper. Is it just me, or I feel like whenever I don't have a guy in the last game, I go down every time someone makes a shot? I have no chance of getting first place if I don't have a guy in the last game. I mean, people have asked questions about this. I personally think it doesn't matter. Everyone's getting to roster 8 players. It doesn't matter if all your 8 players come from one game, if they all come from the late game. Having players in the late game doesn't do anything. I mean, at the end of the day, you're all rostering 8 players. So if you get passed up because you don't have anyone in the late game, it's not because you had a bad lineup. It's just because there's other lineups behind you that are better than yours that have players in the late game still. Randall or Vooch? I'd probably play Randall between those two. Ja or Booker? Give me Devin Booker. Tyler Hero and Aaron Gordon, or D Rose and Justin Holiday? If Jimmy's out, I'd probably play Hero and Aaron Gordon if Jimmy's out. If Jimmy plays, then it'd be closer. But I would probably just take the first anyway, Gabriel. All right, guys, we've been live for about 30 minutes or so I am going to wrap up the stream here. As always, guys, I do appreciate you tuning in. We should be back again for another stream on Friday to close out the week. And then, we'll have videos up for the weekend. I don't think I'm going to be streaming during the weekend, but I'll still try and make videos for the last 2 slates of this weekend. We got a big slate. I know we got a big slate Sunday. I think there's a pretty big slate Saturday as well. I don't know how many games there are tomorrow, but appreciate you guys watching as always. Best of luck tonight. Hopefully, if I don't take down a tournament, one of you guys do. All right, good luck, fellas. Good luck tonight.